44M on my first trip with my 34F significant other and my parents. I proposed and now she hates my family. Hello Internet. Extra account here for OBVS reasons. So I am a 44M and this is my first REQL relationship. She is 34. We have been together 2.5 years and we are on a trip to a very far away place from Canada where my parents are from. She had met my parents briefly and things went fine, but overall we are a very anxious family. She doesn't handle it well. Specifically, the situation is that I proposed on this trip and she accepted, was actually her wanting to get engaged. She also proposed we join my parents for this trip originally. It is a 2-week trip. A few days ago we were at a museum and my mother decided to ask her to call her by her first name instead of Mom. It wasn't meant to be mean, but my mother just doesn't like it. I agree that it was a mess thing to say and she was unbelievably upset. Saying she may not be able to marry me now. Called my family horrible. I had to say something to my mother about it and kinda force her to apologize. I also angrily switched our hotel and got our own rental car. This made my mother upset and she cried. Though she did apologize and my significant other said it was good apology. I had thought all was okay. Now where we are has lots to do but seems to only have a couple days good weather for the rest our trip. We had originally planned to have a whole day to ourselves, but because of the weather there are a couple things we should do and my parents want to do them as well. This turned into a big fight. I said she was being mean and inflexible by demanding we stick to the original plan. And she was very angry OBVS. She also said that she had wanted a day to recover. I didn't disagree, but I also thought all was fine and didn't think she was still harboring so much anger. Then I apparently called her unfathomably mean. I don't remember this, and she lots her shit. Through things. Called me and my family manipulative and said she wants to go home. Then she went kinda catatonic and after a while just went to bed. I feel awful. I don't know what to do here. I just wanted everyone to be happy and get along and now it seems everything is falling apart. I feel like she wants to end things now. What can I do to help? Thank you for making it through my anxious writings. Hopefully this makes sense. Edit. I should have maybe mentioned that she comes from a culture where you call your in-laws and elders specific names. Also her parents called me their son when we got engaged. This was the root of the miscommunication between her and my mother. But yes, I had wished she had been more reasonable with her reaction. Culturally, she felt as if my mom had lowered her status from daughter-in-law to friend. Your fiancé sounds exhausting. Break up with your girlfriend. You're a 40-year-old idiot and socially unfit for marriage. You should have explained the girl's cultural difference to your family and said that her family accepted you as a son. Now you hurt your mother. She regrets causing problems in a situation she doesn't know. Moreover, she had to apologize for her son being stupid. Now do you expect her to respect a man who is ready to insult her family at her urging? Get therapy. Try to improve your intelligence. Don't mess with girls. Your girlfriend called your mother mom? Does she think you're siblings? 'Cause that would be a disturbing relationship. I got exhausted just trying to read this. This girl is not mature enough to get married. And she lots her shit. Through things. This is abuse. Are you sure you want to marry this lady? She sounds unhinged. My 25F boyfriend, 28 male, will tear me down anytime I don't agree with him. My relationship with my boyfriend is overall happy, fun, and loving. We have a serious relationship. We're moved in together and are working on building a future. However, throughout our time, there has been a consistent problem. He does not like when I don't want to do what he wants and does not like when I disagree with him. At first, I thought this is something we could work on, but as time goes on, this has become very exhausting and draining. Here is the last argument we got into, because I didn't agree. Out of curiosity, I asked him if he could live in any city. Which would it be? We have no intention of moving from our current city and are working on buying a house here. He stated a city I didn't have interest in moving to, and when he asked why, I explained that I didn't want to live in a city that was overpriced, overpopulated, and too busy, Los Angeles. This soon turned into an intense and exaggerated argument. He berated me for my thoughts and overwhelmed me with questions and debates on why those things mattered to me. After I wasn't budging on agreeing that LA is my ideal place to live and asked that we no longer debated about this, he got very angry, stating I was disrespecting him and had no belief in him. He went on to say that I haven't grown or developed and that I have a poor understanding of myself and my thoughts, just because I didn't see LA as a desirable place to live. I tried to de-escalate multiple times by saying maybe I would change my mind if we visited, but this wasn't enough. He continued to mock me and gloat on himself because he has achieved everything in his life, so I was wrong and selfish for not changing my mind. He tore me down. Funny thing is, he has never been to LA or California himself. As you can see, he takes things to another level, and this happens almost every time I don't agree with him. It's so tiring and emotionally draining, and I usually end up apologizing just to end the argument. I feel trapped during these arguments because he'll continue asking me, why, when I've already told him why, and I always feel interrogated and overwhelmed. We are always running in circles and I never feel heard, just put down and attacked. What psychological warfare is he putting me through? I'm totally lost on how to effectively end these dumb arguments and have a voice in this relationship, and advice would be great. What a patronizing dickhead. It sounds like he enjoys arguing, quotes around arguing, since it sounds more like a one-sided monologue about how smart he is and how dumb you are. He's pathetic and pompous. Find someone who doesn't berate you for having an opinion. It doesn't sound like you will ever have a voice with this jerk. How does it go when you disagree about an actual decision, rather than a theoretical one? You need to break up with this puke. And then, make it a personal boundary, no one speaks to you this way. If they do, you're out. That's it, that's final. I dated someone like your boyfriend. I was miserable the whole time. I didn't realize until months after the relationship ended that I was, in fact, miserable the whole time, and they were verbally and emotionally abusive. You deserve better. Also, he's not happy, fun, and loving. If every time you have a conversation he immediately starts berating and insulting you. My boyfriend visiting an ex-fling, and I can't get myself to stop being jealous. 27F, 29M. My boyfriend and I have been together for around a year and a half, with the last 2 months being long distance. He is currently on holiday in Spain. He lives in a northern European country, to visit a female friend and stay with her. I feel weird about it but want to get over it and am not sure how to rationalize it to myself and let go of the awkwardness. Here's why I feel off. This is not just another female friend. They met when they were both at the same uni, and got very close, became part of the same social circle, and ended up moving together with a couple of other friends after the first year. She fell in love with him, very deeply, and they had a sort of romance. According to him, it was never a relationship, but it was sexual, and they would get very intimate with each other. This was the first time he was emotionally vulnerable with a girl, from what I've gathered. She wanted to be with him, but he wasn't into her enough in the romantic sense and preferred to remain friends. She found this too heartbreaking, they ended contact, and she moved to Spain. Every now and then, she would reach out and tell him she was ready to be friends again, but then withdraw once she realized she was still in love. About a year ago, she reached out again and they reconnected. The difference this time was that he was in a very committed relationship for the first time in his life, with me, and she seemed to be ready to accept this and maintain a friendship. They've hung out a couple times since, and she's made it clear that even though she accepts that he has a girlfriend, she is not comfortable with getting to know me and hanging out with me as well. Now, he's gone to visit her for a few days. With the added pressure of the change from living together to long distance, and the uncertainty it brings by default, I'm finding it very hard to not feel off when I think about him currently with his friend. I want to be okay about this, since he assures me it is strictly friendly for him. How can I get over it? Too long did not read. BF on holiday to visit an ex-fling current friend who is still in love with him. How do I stop myself being awkward about it? Thanks all. If you were to plan a hypothetical trip spending several nights with one of your former intimate partners who refuses to ever meet your boyfriend, I'm 99.99% certain your boyfriend will feel uncomfortable. You're not wrong for feeling uncomfortable in this situation. Cheater or not, your boyfriend is soaking themselves in gasoline and choosing to approach an open flame. It doesn't matter if he doesn't plan on burning himself. He's put himself in a situation where it's highly likely despite his intention. I wouldn't be jealous at all. I'd be gone. It's unfortunate that your ex-boyfriend went to spend some time with an old FWB. You did say ex, correct? Gee, can't imagine why you'd have a problem with your boyfriend going to stay with his FWB. There is absolutely no need to be visiting an ex who still has feelings for you when you are in a new committed relationship. I'd be telling him he has no place with me after that.